gears, man, over to the production aspect, right? Like, so you get a lot of these software companies when it comes to plugins that they're trying to they're trying to get rid of perpetual licenses. They want you to do subscription stuff. Um, from your opinion, right? Do you have a certain, like? So I'm a Studio One guy. Like, I was using Reason. I never felt Reason was good enough to kind of mix and master in Reason, so I don't mix and master in Reason. I do produce in Reason. Um, do you have a certain set of tools, man, that you use for your music, and then you kind of bounce back and forth? Like, I use Studio One. I primarily do a lot of stuff in Studio One. Obviously I use MPCX, um, but do you have a specific set of tools that you use to make your music, man? And then if you do, like, why? Like, why do you use that per se?
Recently, I've been using, a DAW or like, technical stuff as far as the computer goes. I didn't want to switch over. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to do it. But I said, you know what, I got to learn this and I have to figure out what's the day and time techniques. But before what I was doing, I always messed with Pro Tools even since 2001. My first track out that I did, I'm not gonna say the only one. One of the first track outs I did was the song Georgia that I did. I tracked that out in Pro Tools back then, and then we took that to Patchworks and they mixed and mastered and line at Patchworks. But I was doing stuff on artboard gear. I was using different keyboards and then tracking it the old school way, the long ass way, each track one at a time onto the Pro Tools, right? But eventually, I just went to the computer. I didn't want to, but as an old school cat that liked the outboard gear and the audio sound and the analog sound, I always Pro Tools was always that program that I used to do the final product. Then I just incorporated Reason. I use Reason now. But at the end of the day, I want to go through Pro Tools regardless, unless I send those stems from Reason to another engineer that's going to polish it up and do whatever. But if I'm doing majority of my production, it's going to be in Reason. But I've never recorded vocals in Reason. I've never mastered in Reason. I pre-mixed in Reason,
Mhm.
but I always like taking that to Pro Tools because of the sample rate that's in Pro Tools, the
Mhm.
professionalism, and then also being able to send out those files to a professional engineer that's going to put out the last final product in